Hey everybody, Jacob here from That Time We Woke Up in a Podcast and Had to Explain Manga, our heated adventures overanalyzing manga we find interesting, otherwise known as the Over Manga Cast. So, do you like candy and popcorn? Do you like self-indulgent fun? Do you like your guilty pleasure dumb fun trash taking a hard turn into making real boy narrative decisions? Then join us as we return to the Sakura cosmos and read Eden Zero by Hiro Mashima. We read chapters 49 through 68. Drat, so close. Next time. Anyway, enjoy the show.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the Over Manga Cast. My name is Sam, and as always, here at the top of the show, we talk about what our familiarity with the franchise that we've read this week is. Well, I had to shift my brain back out of One Piece mode to get back into Space Pirate mode, but my experience of Eden Zero hasn't changed basically at all, I think, since the last time that we read this. Really just bang into the OP every now and again because it's really good from the anime. Jake, how about you?
Oh boy, I love me some candy and popcorn. I did actually read a little bit ahead after our previous episode. I basically finished the volume that we had been on. So I had to reread the first like 2-ish chapters for this section, but I hadn't really gotten into anything substantive. So not really that much different.
All right, and Matt.
I've only really watched some of the anime since we've last read Eden Zero, which I'm looking at it was over a year ago at this point. So, good job, us.
We're saving all of our reactions for when we do these episodes. Because this is the thoughtful material that you need lots of our very deep podcast to really comprehend and understand.
More importantly, it's just weird that Jay is the only one of us who can't record.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen a lot. But anyway, we rejoin the crew of the Eden Zero, flying through the Sakura cosmos as they are wont to do. Traveling to the planet of Sun Jewel, where they will hopefully find Homura's lost master and the fourth of the Shining Stars, Valkyrie. Unfortunately, they have to take a brief detour because there's a huge-ass debris field in the way. I guess so big that they can't use the 3D verticality of space to go over and under it, but sure, whatever.
Also, the debris appears to be fish.
Yes.
Space fish.
Space fish. Fish in space.
I love some space fish.
I don't understand what you're not understanding. It's a very simple concept. It's space fish.
Space fish.
Whole school of them. They're all vaguely some variety of koi or goldfish. They're very pretty.
Like most things in the Sakura cosmos, it does not make logical sense, but it looks good, and quite frankly, that's all that really matters.
Mm-hmm. And then amidst the fish, we see what I was sure was going to be a ghost pirate. we see a man carrying a ye olde captain's wheel floating amidst the fish. And as everybody is rightfully like, what is that a guy? Is he saying something? Quick, turn on the audios and help me. Okay.
Oh, they then proceed to bring on board Captain Connor, who talks like a pirate.
I be Captain Connor. As you can see, I be a ship's captain.
I see you holding a ship's wheel. That's just kind of weird.
Captain Connor is what the kids would describe as based, because the first thing he says when he gets on the ship is, "Man, sure a lot of dames doing things around here."
This ship is run by women and children? All right, I'm officially your captain now. No, you're not. That's Shiki's job. He's just a boy, though. I'm sure you broads will understand. I'm going to the helm now.
First, he bums a bunch of food.
Yeah, because he's been floating in space for God knows how for big space time lady knows how long. I forget her actual name. Xiao Mei, yeah.
Xiao Mei.
She's my favorite character. You'd think I'd remember her name more efficiently, but
look, this series is popcorn and candy.
Yep.
It is not particularly memorable. It's fun. I love it, but it is not particularly memorable.
But Captain Connor says he's from the Aoi Cosmos. I think I pronounced that right. Which is kind of like the Sakura Cosmos, except filled with fish.
Of course.
As you do. With Connor now bumming a ride on the ship, he's being very disruptive as he snores incredibly loudly, thinks that the baths are co-ed, and just sort of imposes himself into every situation.
He also takes it upon himself to use their clothing manufacturing thing on board to make himself a captain's uniform.
Mm-hmm.
As you do.
And also starts teaching Pino swear words. Screw you. Screws for you. No, screw, lass. Screw.
Don't ever say that, Pino.
But conveniently, he does somehow make up his worth for being such a disruption because while no one was paying attention, except maybe Shiki gave him permission, it's kind of weird. He piloted the ship through the debris field that was going to cause them a 3-day delay, and they get to the planet they're going to within.
Yep, he took a shortcut. What do you mean you took a shortcut? I took a shortcut. How did you even do that? And he's like, because I'm the best captain. And then he wanders away and thinks to himself, I'm the captain of the Eden's One.
And he has a tattoo on his wrist of Eden's One, and I'm like, sure, it's convenient. No one saw that, barely hidden by your cuff.
By your sleeve.
Well, he had his gloves on, I guess. But
Yep.
Yeah, he takes gloves off for the audience to see that tattoo.
I must say, this is quite the drama bomb to end on, and then have no one address for the rest of our reading.
Yeah, it never comes up again.
This character is offhandedly mentioned to still be on the ship, and then nothing else.
Yeah, it was a funny bit for me where I picked up reading where I left off after our previous reading, and I realized, oh, wait a second, this is in the middle of a thing. I need to remember how they actually, spoilers, they get arrested almost immediately upon arriving on the planet. I'm like, oh wait, no, I gotta reread and see how they got into this situation. And I read our full section, and I'm like, oh yeah, that guy exists. They never bring him up again. He's just on the ship. He doesn't even do anything this our reading section.
He's just here.
He's the reason Weiss doesn't feel comfortable going down on the planet initially.
Which, to be fair, that's probably a good call on Weiss's part.
I'm not leaving this guy alone to screw around with our systems.
Spoiler alert, at some point he does leave the guy alone to screw around with their systems.
It's fine, probably.
They do have 3 of the 4 shining stars there to hopefully keep him under at least relative control.
But the rest of the away team heads down to the planet and finds themselves in the gleaming, wealthy sector of Sun Jewel. Coated in gold, elaborate towers rising up, several fairy tale references on the billboards, and everybody's in fancy clothing. And it looks like this is going to be a fun, glamorous time. I don't know what could possibly go wrong. Shiki just randomly walking up to people like, hey, you got lots of cash, right? Who are you?
Oh man, are you telling me the planet that the Eden Zero crew landed on initially appears really cool and then suddenly has something happen that makes it not cool?
It's almost as if we're reading Eden Zero.
It's almost as if there's an episodic plot structure that goes along with this manga. So they go to a big casino because Rebecca can't go a single volume without a change of clothes. She puts on a fancy cocktail dress.
Fancy cocktail dress is a way to describe this, Sam. This is the kind of dress you wear when you want to marry a man who's like 30 years older than you and $2 million richer than you.
Like most of the guys in the background of that panel.
Basically.
But the plan is to very sneakily go around this casino and talk with the folks and figure out the location of Valkyrie. And Homura immediately starts screaming, does anyone know where Valkyrie is? Hey, I'm looking for her. Does anyone know?
Oh, Rebecca has to rein her in.
I gotta say, I really liked the interactions between these two in this reading. It's very heartwarming and funny. Thankfully, before there can be any immediate consequences for Homura just screaming out the reason why they're here, or anyone can pay attention to the little robot bird that's peeking on them saying this, some casino robbers show up.
Well armed,
Masked.
Uzi firing into the air. The classic.
I like how one of the masks is just poo.
Yeah.
The carrot-nosed dog, not poop, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also think the main villain is also supposed to be the main character from Rave Master, but like a super ugly version of it. But that's hard to tell.
Thankfully, we have several heroes here to deal with things, and by that I mean Shiki not knowing to get down because this is a stick up. Looking at the guy who's trying to stick the place up and going, wow, you've got a huge face. This is a mask. All right, so you're bad guys, huh? Boom! And just starts walloping all the robbers, doing his usual Shiki thing, Magimek attacks.
Homura also immediately gets in on it because she also doesn't understand the concept of restraint.
Mm-hmm. And the robbers are handily defeated, taken out by our two noble heroes. I like how Rebecca got honestly worried for Shiki for a second. It's like, oh, wait, no, they're shonen heroes. They're fine. And it's like, all right, cool, some vigilante justice. Everything is fine now. And then things immediately start getting kind of fucked up because all the robbers dropped in a circle are caught in a beam of light piercing down from the heavens as a booming voice over a speaker says, "I do not tolerate crime on my planet."
Oh, and they appear to get orbital lasered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure about the appeal. I think they might have been orbitally lasered.
No, they were orbitally lasered. They were reduced to red dust.
Well, the thing is, I say they appear to be orbitally lasered because it appears to also happen to Shiki and Homura in a bit, but these people probably were just killed.
No, they were very much killed because the only thing left is a perfectly circular red stain.
They committed the most heinous crime of all: theft of money.
That's only legal when the people in power do it. Oh, hey, what's that? The laser is shining on our heroes.
A cutaway to Madame Kuranai?
Kuranai is what I would assume.
Yeah, probably Kuranai.
We don't have Jay here to correct us, so really we can say whatever we want.
We'll figure it out.
Kurani?
That bitch. How about that name?
Yeah, Madam that bitch.
Well, she's speaking with Draken Joe.
I gotta
Draken Joe,
still the best named character.
Alchemist.
Still the best named character in this manga.
The fact I forgot Draken Joe existed until I read this was really a treat.
Every time we revisit Eden Zero, we're reminded of the existence of Draken Joe, the Dark Alchemist, and everyone's happy.
Every time Draken Joe isn't on panel, people should be asking, where's Draken Joe? She is, in fact, speaking with the legendary Dark Alchemist, talking about that weapon that was just used, the Satellite Blaze, a machine that tracks the location of everyone on the planet and condemns violators of Madame Kuranai's law to death. And I'm like, okay, that's
extreme.
That sure is something. Joe wants to use the satellite in order to track down the Eden Zero. And after that little nugget is dropped, we meet up again with the robotic bird flying back to the poor sector, which, boy howdy, it sure looks like it. It looks like every shantytown in a Fallout game.
Or surprisingly, also Konoha.
Also does kind of look like Konoha. If Konoha was in Borderlands.
We get to see that somebody is observing our heroes, who asks what Valkyrie thinks. Valkyrie in shadows.
Mm-hmm. Lady Valkyrie in deep shadows after he realizes that Homura is there. And with several hooks now thoroughly in this story, we get to the actual meat of our conflict, which is, our noble heroes went and stopped the robbers. However, they committed a violence, which means that we're not going to put you to death. don't worry, we're not that barbaric. We understand that you did it out of the goodness of your hearts. So instead, we're just going to sentence you to hard labor for the rest of your life.
And to be fair, they did destroy a lot
bunch
of
of stuff.
property
Yeah.
in there. Like, it was unnecessary destruction, too. Like, Shiki just threw tables at them for no reason. So, really, being asked to pay back what you broke isn't insane.
Yeah, no, the idea that they'd have something to answer for isn't insane. It's the hard labor for the rest of your life is maybe a bit much.
Mm-hmm. Well, to
Especially
be fair, we don't know it's for the rest of your life yet. That's a little...
that's also true. Their debt is set to like what 100,000, yeah. So
I have no idea what that could be. Numbers mean anything. That could be like 7 animals. I don't know.
Well, it's set to 100,000, and they are teleported into the labor district, where it is explained to them what they must do.
Not really.
Sort of.
They mostly have to figure it out, and then other people show up to tell them.
They're teleported directly into the mines. Is really the problem there. Because basically the gist of it is they have these neck collars that have digital representations of their debt, and they're told to mine. Except in this universe, mining is killing bugs that grow crystals on their back, and those crystals are actually metal, and the metal is valuable.
It's Eden Zero. We have to do everything as shonen action focused as possible.
I don't know if this was mentioned previously, but Shiki is deathly afraid of bugs.
I was gonna ask if either of you remembered if this had yet been established. Okay, so the party balance in this section is actually spectacular, and I'll get to the point where I was like so freaking on board with this arc. Like the way that they prevent Shiki from just solving a couple of plot lines is this fear of bugs, and I didn't think that had been mentioned before.
He sees the bugs and almost immediately starts blue screening as Homura has to deal with a huge swarm of them. Unfortunately, there are too many for even her sword skills. Thankfully, some dudes show up.
A quirky mini-boss squad.
1 + 2 makes 1,000,000 power! I'm pretty sure that's 3. 1 + 2 makes 1,000,000 power!
I believe that makes 3, but I will not mention it.
Look, one of them appears to be a masked wrestler who fights with skis strapped to his arms, so I'm not going to question these guys about anything, really. But after all of the bugs are cleaned up, they are like, newbies, excellent. We will explain the hideousness of our situation to you. Because as it turns out, those little monsters are called stones, and if you beat them up, they release metal, which is then immediately teleported to Madame Kurenai so she can profit off of all of this, and it ticks down on your collar to get you closer to freedom. Sure. Thankfully, they don't all come in bug-like varieties, as Shiki's very worried about that idea.
Yeah, they head over to the actual shantytown where the laborers live. And we're introduced to one of our arc villains.
BDSM man.
You're supposed to, but I hate this guy.
The Scourge of Heaven.
The Scourge of Heaven. A dude in a gimp mask with a whip. He is something. He's beating up one of the slaves, and of course Shiki and Homura have to step in, being heroes. Like, all right, that's enough out of you. Unfortunately, if even one person defies, everyone gets suppressed by the Punisher bots. And this guy's special power is his whip injects numbing agent into the victims so that it, when he cracks it across Shiki and Homura's knees, it forces them to fall to the ground in supplication, which of course just pisses the two of them off more. But he sees that Homura is in fact a pretty girl and is like, all right, I'm officially going to take you back to my BDSM dungeon and do horrible things.
I do like Homura's interaction here because she's like, no, Shiki, don't cause a scene. He's such an idiot. He doesn't know I can use ether gear, so I'll just escape later. And then it just cuts to, you're literally right behind me. I can hear you as you're talking.
God damn it, I did the
curses. Curses, my thoughts escaped my mouth again. Homura never change.
It's funny because that actually gives us a very crucial bit of information going forward. Though, before we can have that revealed, we have to further establish how much of a just awful fucking person Madame Kurenai is.
I love this scene. This scene is so fucking stupid.
Well, she's looking for a new attendant, and one of the candidates is a man from, I can only assume, the Twink planet, planet Genos, known for having gentlemen pleasing to the eye. And she's like, yes, you are very handsome, but now strip. And he's like, okay. Gets naked in a panel.
Bishi sparkles.
Bishi sparkles in appropriately censoring places.
Yeah, who needs the Eden Zero's 4 shining stars when we got these boys right here?
4 shining stars and then a brilliant sun right between his legs. He goes to like kneel before her, and he's trying to be all suave, like, yes, I will be your attendant. I will keep you warm on lonely nights. No. Who told you that you could touch me? You must mistake me for some sort of sensualist. Now I will punish you. Please, not the face. Oh, not the face, you say. All right, then. And melts his face off with fire powers. I can only assume it's ether gear.
Yeah, they never really go into super great detail on what her personal abilities are, because she doesn't fight hand to hand later when things happen, but
100% she has fire powers just because her name is Crimson. Like,
yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah, that tracks.
But we find out that this is not the first butler candidate she's been given, and she has had a similar reaction to all the other ones.
Bring in the next one. That was actually the last one. She wants. She talks to her ward about how Draken Joe wants the Eden Zero, and she's got a 30% cut in it. And she's like, "Yeah, no, I'm actually just going to screw over Joe and take the entire thing. I'm only ever interested in 100%."
And this means she's a power player, because who in this wide universe would ever dream of cheating Draken Joe?
And this is all where we also learn that this planet has some powerful jamming around it, because the crew on the Zero can't get in touch with the away team, no matter how hard they try.
And more importantly, Rebecca can't post any B-Cube videos. But you know who can post some B-Cube videos and happens to be here and also has a name I completely forgot about was seriously her name?
The second this much of our reading.
Labilia. Gotta be very careful reading that.
Yeah, real careful with the syllables.
I will never get over that name.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's really weird. She kind of just offhandedly hears Rebecca saying something and goes, "Oh, I can help you with that if you do a favor for me."
Man, how am I ever going to find Shiki and Homura in the labor district so that we can find Valkyrie? Sure is convenient that you were just expositing your plans aloud. Maybe I can help you.
This is also where the chapter covers become Babby Homura, and
oh, yes.
I'm okay with this.
They're very cute.
It just becomes One Piece where the chapter covers tell a completely unrelated backstory.
Well, you say completely unrelated, but there's actually a critical piece of plot information in there.
It is stated outright inside of the actual story, but yeah, there is a bit that's kind of important,
because we see the cat that snatched the letter that would have explained to Homer where Valkyrie went. Speaking of unnecessary cruelty, who wants to? We have a magical girl reference of a chapter, and then I think a Carrie reference.
I don't think that far, but yeah, basically what Labilia wants is for Rebecca to cosplay as a character from a children's anime. Basically a magical girl princess.
Yes, little mage girl, wibble wobble, ruby bobble.
And in the ultimate joke, it appears Labilia has bought Rebecca a children's costume, which does not fit her, which
considering Rebecca's proportions.
Yeah, I was about to say, Rebecca fills this out pretty well, so the joke is definitely not that. Um, where we also get introduced to this arc's, I guess MVP? I don't know what to do about this guy.
Tertiary antagonist?
No, man,
Secondary hero?
He's too based. He comes spinning onto the scene with his, like, nice beard, his top knot, his anime t-shirt.
Singing the OP in a wibble wobble ruby bobble?
Anime will save the universe.
Anime will save the universe. It's the beekeeper, Nino. I love this guy. He's just he's an otaku news beekeeper.
Where Lobilia's walking Rebecca through the basics of how to, like, be a beekeeper, which sounds really sweet. Until you realize Rebecca has been doing this as her profession and has been terrible at it this entire time.
Yeah. If we get a bonus chapter that proves just how great she is at it.
Like, when people were mocking her earlier, she deserved it. The content she's making is terrible.
Look,
Like, literally, all of her subscribers seem to just be people who tune in because she'll accidentally have the camera facing her ass the entire stream.
Yeah, you gotta go with what works.
I don't know.
I guess she just needed to find her true calling as an adventuring space pirate.
Yeah,
Who knows?
I think the implication I get is the bonus chapter was some of her earlier content, and she's been getting progressively better because, like, she's not just like giving like patronizing basic tips. She's actually like, no, here's how, like you're good enough to record a video at a basic level, but here's how you structure it.
I don't know, Jacob. When Rebecca goes, wait, what is a script doing here? We're recording a video. What do you mean you don't do scripts for your videos? Like seriously, the exact quote is, "What is this a script?" Well, maybe if you actually have some planning in your videos, you'd get more views. And then Nino even jumps in with, "Every video needs structure, a solid beginning, middle, and end." Wow, I'm really learning a lot.
Oh, Rebecca. Bless her heart, she tries.
Well, apparently not. That's really apparently she's just been half-assing it.
Half-assing it with her whole ass.
Yep. Mm-hmm. But she puts her whole heart into her cosplay performance. What's the exact words? Because it's gross. It's super gross. It's gross, smelly soup. Yeah, and it's basically Carrie. She gets a whole bunch of stuff dumped on her after winning prom queen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Billy is just like, there's a whole half-page panel of just the longest freaking monologue from her just being needlessly cruel.
She's like, it's a prank video, and I'm like, I don't get who's watching this video, and because obviously the manga is portraying her as the villain, but like from the inner universe context of this is her video, I don't know.
Like, sometimes you just make a video for yourself, but like
this, no one would watch this and think you're the hero.
This feels like the SpongeBob episode where Squidward went too far on the April Fool's joke, except instead the Krusty Krab is laughing with him.
Yep. She also does feel the need to go against the thesis statement of this manga and go like, "Oh, you stupid robot, you don't get it because you don't actually have feelings." I have feelings.
As Pino is actively crying in frustrated rage.
Oh, I love Pino, like, gritting herself through the tears of like, "Please don't laugh at my friend."
Well, because she has to be nice even when she wants to rip Lobilia's throat out, which fair, she deserves it.
And then Lobelia immediately reneges on the deal and zips out without telling them where to get to the labor district. Thankfully, anime will save the universe because Nino is a man of honor who saw that she completed the deal, and also the cosplay was good. And as a man of culture, he has to respect the good cosplay. Also, I just noticed. I think he's some sort of elf because he's got pointy ears.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Alien.
Space elf neckbeard. He doesn't have a neckbeard though.
No, he has a very well trimmed beard.
He's very well groomed.
Gotta respect it, I say as I am stroking my goatee.
Yes. He's some sort He's a cool guy, okay? He's like the most positive depiction of an otaku while still keeping noticeable like
Otaku, yeah.
I guess that's the joke. Like, is he so
Stop the
super-
presses, guys. We found the one good otaku.
I mean, yes.
Anyway, back to Homura and the sex dungeon.
Yeah, this section here, this is the closest Eden Zero has come to going into distasteful territory. Right up to the line. Thankfully, they don't cross it. Mostly
Yeah.
because Shiki just kicks the door down.
Because Shiki does Shiki things.
It's enough time to be like, yes, he is a very evil person, so that you can get the absolute shonen popcorn that I don't know. The contrarian in me really wants to hate, but something in me just absolutely loves it when a shonen protagonist grits his teeth and goes, "Don't you dare fucking hurt my friends."
Mm-hmm.
That's why this is popcorn and candy.
No, it's literally, look how evil this person is. Good thing Shiki will say, "Don't you hurt my friends, you bitch."
Look, Matt, that's just the One Piece appreciation talking.
Well, actually, I was gonna say, boy, I'm glad we did One Piece last time because, granted, I really enjoyed this section a lot for a lot of reasons. But this really does go to show it in contrast to One Piece, where One Piece puts in the effort to make that to make these sorts of moments really work and be really solid. Eden Zero pulls them off to the point where you can enjoy them whilst turning your brain off, but it doesn't put in the same work that One Piece does. And then there's the hopeless dredge of other shonens that will do this and fall flat on their face because it rings completely hollow.
It's kind of like how popcorn and like a nice steak are both going to be buttery and salty. Just one of them is a better meal.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And one of them is a better meal, that's unquestionable, but also sometimes you just want some popcorn, and that's what
No one wants to eat a steak while watching a movie.
yeah.
Exactly.
That's exactly what Eden Zero is for, and boy golly, is this section nothing but a parade of proving that Eden Zero does that perfectly.
But the important tidbit that we get out of this, beyond, just evil man is evil, is that ether gear can be entirely shut off by tying up the hands of the user, as Homura is tied up by her wrists to a pipe. So she's like, aha, you fool, now I will use my ether gear, and
wait, it's not working.
Why isn't it working? It's because ether gear works by reconfiguring the ether in your body, and you need your hands for that.
For some reason. I can't help but sit here and think about the fact that there's a certain superhero who used to have the weakness of being tied up. Particular reason. For a particular meta-contextual reason.
I love how Shiki has absolutely no problem just clowning on this guy, and then after beating him goes like, wait, hold on. Are you just kidding me that ether gear literally doesn't work if your hands are tied together? Hold on, I gotta try this shit out.
Using his gravity ether gear, Shiki expertly dodges all of his whip moves, punches him in the face, and throws him into the ceiling. Just, good old times.
My man shoves his head out of the ceiling to provide exposition on, oh yes, Valkyrie, I knew that fine woman.
Yes.
I provide exposition and make you feel creepy.
I'm going to lick the blood off of my face because I'm a weirdo like that.
Yum, yum, yum.
Yum, 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 yum.
But yeah, also apparently Nino let Rebecca use his shower. And that's just casually mentioned so she doesn't smell like garbage, I guess. But it comes off kind of weird because he's got his same very intense grin and thumbs up. And I'm like, Nino.
He definitely doesn't have a camera in there. I actually believe that he doesn't.
He actually probably doesn't because he's cool, but it doesn't help the implication with the creepy grin and thumbs up.
He also does reveal he works for Madame Kurenai as the Fist of Heaven, so...
Yeah.
That's how I knew that whenever you say certain key words, Madame Kurenai is alerted to it. And when you said the Eden Zero, that set off a flag. But don't worry, I immediately was sent to get you. But then since I saw you in that sexy ass cosplay, I was just like, nah, that girl too hot to die. And I'm like, okay, Nino, you're being weird. It's just like, anime will save the world, you know? Also, if you could cosplay Angelic Angela next, that'd be really great. She wears no clothes.
Isn't she half naked?
You mean the angel girl that's just in the frilly lingerie? Yes.
Anyway, anime will save the universe. Bye.
I love this guy. He's such a dumb catchphrase.
And conveniently, because there's only 5 people living in the labor district, Rebecca immediately runs into someone who can help her. Because bird.
Yes.
No, there's only 5 named characters.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's got to be lots of extras to be injured so we can be sad about that later.
I guess they do say they're following the bird, but when you look, the bird actually just basically flies in a straight line. So it's like,
we would have gone that direction anyway.
Yeah, but whatever.
But this is how they meet my main man, Paul. This is another very, very stupid character, but I kind of love him.
He's a very Eden Zero character.
Yes. He always has a extremely serious, jowly frown on his face. Extremely wide eyes that just make him look like he is always experiencing the most intense moment of his life.
My favorite thing about Paul is that, like, in the final battle, it's almost as if the mangaka realized or had been told to him there was a severe plot hole about why he's even here. And they just have him shouted out in the background. I'm like, no, I'm here for this other reason. And I was like, okay, I guess that works.
Yes, because Paul, he meets up with them and immediately demonstrates his own ether gear, Steel Hand. He can teleport objects as far as 4 inches directly into the palm of his hand, which means if he can get close to people, he can swipe it right off of their bodies. He demonstrates this by taking Rebecca's B cube and pulling off a Kazuma from.
It's the Konosuba. It's the Konosuba.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he steals her panties, and I mentioned that because it becomes important later. Because this is an Eden Zero, I don't know what we don't expect better of it, so it's really hard to judge it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right up to the line. Never cross it. Right up to the line.
My favorite part was at several points I found myself asking, did Rebecca ever get those back from her? And then I get a definitive answer at one point.
Yeah, it gets directly addressed.
Several times.
And she's only cognizant of one of them because, god damn it, Rebecca. Have some situational awareness for 5 minutes.
Look, I adore Rebecca. She is one of the best characters in the show, but she is not very bright.
She has a wisdom score of 7. Paul reveals that his true intentions, his importance in this scenario, is he was a friend of Lady Valkyrie down here in the labor district, and this B cube holds the answer to the question of why she came to this planet and why she is never coming back.
Oh, and you're expecting it's going to be some Eden Zero nonsense that will easily be solved. Let's see what they do with this.
This is some popcorn nonsense too, because they're like, "Ooh, yeah, here's a big revelation." Oh, nope, we're gonna switch gears.
Turns out we have more plot to get back to. Remember the guy that we threw into the ceiling? I swear that ceiling gets higher every panel.
Unfortunately, he has access to the satellite laser that can also teleport people.
So he's like, I didn't much appreciate you fighting back against me, so I'm going to send you to the deepest layer of the dungeon, where the final boss will destroy you in my stead. Ha 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 ha! Isn't victory sweet? Ow, where he punched me still hurts.
Which is really funny, because right about here was when I was reading, and I'm like, kind of is dumb that they set up this whole point system with the collars and then are going to do absolutely nothing with it because they're already fighting the arc bosses. And then they're like, hey, we remembered. We're still going to do basically nothing with it, but we remembered.
We remembered our dumb plot point. Look, the manga has an attention span as short as Shiki's. What can I say? We get introduced to the other member of the. Oh, they have a name.
It's like Kitaitsun's. It's something.
Yeah, it's the 3 quirky mini bosses,
of which we have BDSM Man, Otaku Man, and now Lion Man, who is very fast.
The Scourge of Heaven, the Fists of Heaven, and the Axe of Heaven. Which weird naming convention, but
well, Madam that is a pretty inflated sense of self. So because they are her
direct
people.
enforcers, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I just want to point out that we haven't mentioned BDSM Man's name yet. It's Garot, like Garot. And I'm like,
yes.
that on the nose as ever, Eden Zero.
Never change.
I just really like this interaction. It's like, how do we reveal that this big guy with the big heavy axe is actually the fastest dude? Have BDSM Man say, hey, Baku, how long have you been there? Oh, I just showed up. That's how fast I am. Anyway, what do you want? Madame Kurenai is calling a meeting. Okay.
Yeah, that doesn't pay off right now.
Yeah,
but
not really.
They get dumped in the...
That doesn't really pay off later, let's be honest.
Lots of things in this arc don't seem to pay off, I'm going to be completely honest. But they are dumped in the cavern of the biggest of the stones, which is what we call the monsters that have stones on them. This one big boy, he very hard. Wait, retake that.
No.
Damn it. He's covered in hard stones.
He sure is. This Monster Hunter looking ass.
I love this design. It's so cool.
It is really cool because like it's got a fairly standard like quadrupedal shape. Kind of looks like I can't remember what they're called, but the big like electric sort of pangolin looking ones from Monster Hunter. It's like one of those, except instead of having a traditional head, it's this like flared cone of more of these glittering black scales, and it looks really neat.
Yeah, this looks like a Monster Hunter boss, but
that is an Elder Dragon right there.
Yeah. I like the counter shading.
I really like how Shiki immediately thinks it's a bug and then has to have Homura talk him out of it being a bug. It looks more like a big cat.
Yep.
Okay, if you say it's not a bug, then I'm not going to be afraid of it. And I'm like, that's a really weird insectophobia.
Well, it's only got 4 legs. It can't be a bug.
You know what? You're right.
All right, time to fight this thing. Gravity fist, snake strike. Ow, my knuckles. My sword's broken. All right, called a rock.
Yep.
Really hard.
And unfortunately can summon mosquitoes. And then Shiki's like, no, I don't want to fight bugs. And then Homura tries to lie to him about them being bugs.
The birds.
The birds.
It's too late.
Luckily, by sheer happenstance, Rebecca's here.
Rebecca is here with Paul, and also Pino. Pino's here too.
Well, not for nothing. You could presume that this is dumb justification, but you can presume Paul had his little bird scout for them.
The reason he didn't immediately give the big revelatory B cube to Rebecca was he did get a little call from the bird of like, there's something happening.
Except for the fact they're in the deepest dungeon.
How did they get there? Yeah. Like they got teleported directly into the deepest dungeon and they got there too fast. But who cares? There's a justification for it so you can squint past it. And we're going to get to the first of 2 scenes where Rebecca gets to be fucking awesome. So you know what? I'm not going to care that they shouldn't have gotten there that fast.
Okay.
Can't really think of a good place to weave this in, so I'm just going to say it. The big rock monster also has a fucking laser breath weapon. It's so cool.
It's so cool. Yeah, Rebecca's like, why do you guys need help? It's just a bunch of little bugs. And then she sees the big Monster Hunter boss, and she has an appropriate reaction. They do a team attack.
Attack the weak point for massive damage.
It's attack the weak point for massive damage. But everybody, including Shiki, though Shiki doesn't do much, is involved taking the monster down. But Rebecca gets like the biggest like moment of it. Like she's sort of the crux of the plan. And one thing that I couldn't help but notice in our previous section is when we were first introduced to the characters, Rebecca was presented as, I mean, Shiki's the main character. He's better in a direct fight than she is, but Rebecca was presented as not simply a damsel in distress, someone who can really handle herself. And there has been a little bit of badass decay with Rebecca where she hasn't done a lot. She's kind of needed to get bailed out more often than she's done cool things over the course of it. Well, boy, howdy, did that get fixed here?
Oh yeah.
Rebecca is just awesome.
Yeah, I freaking love this because after Pino completes scanning the big monster, discovers that there is in fact a less hard weak point on its back that can be served as a critical hit point. And since Homura's sword was damaged and it'll take her a while to put out enough ether to fully restore it, here we go. I'm going to use it as a springboard to launch you into the air. And
so that Rebecca can get over the monster to strike the weak point for massive damage.
Because with Shiki currently passed out from bug fear, there's nobody that can fly.
Rebecca's not quite got enough ups to do it, so Shiki recovers just in time to give her a little bit of extra, a little bit of a midair boost. Looks really cool. Like he jumps up and foot to foot springboards off of her so she can jump higher, which is neat. It's also the first place where, that thing that happened before wasn't just a Konosuba reference. It's brought up again.
Because Shiki looks directly up her skirt and passes out again. Quick 2-panel joke aside, Rebecca finds the weak point and delivers, and she and Happy deliver a huge blast into it, weakening it further, letting Shiki grab it, give a big suplex to slam it down, and Homura finishes it off with the final stab. And it's
really, really cool.
It's just a sick fight.
And that was enough metal to cover Homura and Shiki's debt and then some. Or is it?
It went all the way back down to 0. We've done it. Excellent. Now we can get out of resetting. I'm sorry, what?
Yep. And then this is where Paul reveals he could have used his thieving powers to take off their necklaces at any point.
Well, to be fair, he literally just showed up in the middle of a massive combat situation.
They could have just ran away from the boss is the thing, though.
Yeah, but then they couldn't have done the cool fight.
Okay.
Matt, we're here for dumb action.
Oh, okay. I won't say anything else for the rest of the episode then.
No.
Look, it's also fun to point out all the ways in which the popcorn isn't as good as steak, okay?
Yeah, and then he also gives Homura the B cube that's like, and then this will reveal the secret of Valkyrie. Oh, by the way, we're going to cut back to Madame Kurenai, who has now got the guy she burned the face of as a chained up man in the iron masked this dude, and he's now just a pet, on the ground like a dog. Because
we have to make her eviler.
Garat learned it from watching someone.
Yep.
Except also now the second that the team is done with the labor district plotline, because they've revealed that the points don't matter. Conveniently, just at that exact second, Madame Kurenai is also done with the labor district plotline and is going to blow it up.
I've got another source of revenue. I'm going to take the Eden Zero from under Draken Joe's nose, so I don't need the labor district anymore. Nuke it all to ashes.
Madame Kurenai, the Eden Zero would be a one-time revenue stream, and we did say it was worth 10 years of mining, but the mine can continue being.
You could get the Eden Zero and continue mining. No, I'm evil. It's funny because this is all in service of making her out to be an evil asshole. And the things that we learn later are so much worse. They didn't need that.
Just an endless parade of worse and worse things that she does. And it's here where we get the backstory, as Paul has given the B cube over to Homura.
Can we talk about how the first 2 pages of here really build up the melodrama?
Oh, yeah.
Homura's running away crying, And like it's revealing that they had opened up the B Cube and watched the video together. And we get Rebecca going like, oh, is this the truth about Valkyrie? And we have like Shiki in the back going like, what? And
Yeah, both of them are in like wide-eyed shock.
make sure the audience is sufficiently prepared for how tragic this backstory is.
And I'm just sitting here like, there's no way they're justifying this. This is going to be solvable. We get a flashback to
feudal Japan planet.
Yeah, seriously.
It's stuff that we, strictly speaking, already knew, but it goes into detail on Homura's backstory. This is also where we get the title page of the plot point, which, to be fair, is also mentioned out loud in this chapter. Like, if you didn't have that, you would still get that plot point.
Yeah.
But
so basically, the long and short of it is Homura is an orphan in feudal Japan, is what this planet is themed.
Her father was killed in the war, and her mother went off to earn some money, ostensibly to send back home. And as soon as I read that, I was like, oh, wait a fucking second.
And Valkyrie was, I presume she fought on feudal Japan's side?
Oh,
but that's
yeah,
unclear.
No, we knew this. That was something that was stated in the previous section. Because the reason why Valkyrie and Homura even know each other is Valkyrie had won a battle and then found the orphaned Homura.
It would help if there was less than a year in between reading these sections.
Yeah.
This picks up when they've already got the student-mentor relationship.
Okay. Yeah, and then we find out that feudal Japan is full of racist dicks, basically. Well, not really. It's just these three kids.
Well, there's some old,
there's some old ladies.
Some gossipy old ladies who are just like, oh, that poor girl, she lost her parents, so now she has to have a machine as her mother. Hey, hey, I'm gonna be a small pedantic child about this. Valkyrie isn't my mother, she's my mentor. Besides, what's it matter that she's a machine?
Yeah.
Honestly, the ratio of people who don't see robots as people to people who aren't complete assholes seems about the same as most other places. Because, like, various incidents that, like, establish that Homura cares very deeply for Valkyrie, but their relationship isn't mother-daughter, it's teacher-student, you know, and nobody seems to want to respect, one, Valkyrie is a person, two, that, you know, what their actual relationship is. And like there's like a I don't know if they call him a mayor, but he's functionally a mayor.
He's a magistrate.
Homura is being harassed by his son, because we got to get that plot point in, and she beats the idiot up. God, there are so many parallels to the freaking One Piece episode. Jeez. And
yeah, this one's popcorny, so it's just insane.
Yeah, it's just cartoonish.
I like the one round guy with no neck in the little squad of gremlins who just keeps saying, I want to touch Valkyrie's boobs. I want to touch her boobies.
To be fair, this is probably an 11-year-old child, so
yeah,
not excusing the behavior, but
it's not to excuse the behavior. It's just there's a reason. Yeah, but all of this ultimately
they're trying to convince Homura to give them Valkyrie because she's a robot. She's just an object.
And unfortunately, a fight breaks out and the magistrate's son is injured. So he kind of comes up, and they're both Valkyrie and Homura are sentenced up there on charges. And basically, magistrate's just like, look, it's unfortunate.
My son is a spoiled idiot.
Things came to blows, but like a fight happened. So it's kids being kids, but just, hey, the person who started it can just apologize and we can move on. And then Homura's like, I will never apologize.
This idiot was the one who was being disrespectful, and I'll do it again.
He should, specifically, her thing is he's the one who should apologize.
Valkyrie tells Homura directly, you should apologize. You have been trained to fight.
And you're stronger. You should have known better.
You are the person who was responsible in the situation. And her response is, you know, they made fun of my mommy. And it's just like, Homura, I get where you're coming from, but that's not an answer, girl. Like, real important thing to learn is if the person you're defending doesn't want you to fight for them, you're kind of being a dick.
Yeah. I understand your feeling of righteous justice, but sometimes you just need to swallow the poison.
Sometimes, despite the fact you really want to help someone, they don't want your help, and it just becomes a selfish action.
You know, props to the magistrate, because once the squabbling children are taken away, he says to Valkyrie, look, you need to control your kid better. She's not my kid. You know what I'm getting at. And also, I really should have been a better parent as well.
And I like that the magistrate's point of view to her, she takes in a very hurtful way, but he's kind of just genuinely saying, like, look, there's just a thing about unconditional love that you might not get. Like, no matter how much of a dick my kid is, I can't just abandon him. You could always just take the person, because she doesn't even claim to have a mother-daughter relationship. She does not claim to have adopted this child. He's kind of saying, like, there is no expectation for you to always care for her, so that unconditional love isn't there.
He's really mature and quite frankly really nice about the whole, because like he knows it was my kid who started this. I know that Homura's righteous anger isn't really misplaced, but he's really, it's really a matter of just keep her under control. You're not really her mom, so
she needs to know she can't start fights, was really what he was trying to say. Like,
yeah,
I don't care. Someone started it. Apologize and we move on. Like,
yeah. And the thing that Valkyrie kind of takes away from all of this, the worst you could say of the magistrate is that it's coming from a place of ignorance, because he really means nothing by it. But like, Valkyrie is like, but I do unconditionally love Homura and kind of think of myself as her mother. Oh crap, I've made a terrible mistake.
But it's then that Valkyrie decided that she was going to go and find Homura's real mother. So she left a note and went to Planet Median to talk with my girl, Xiao Mei.
This is the scene where Xiao Mei mentions in passing, by the way, a cat stole the note. Crap.
What? Now it looks like I left without a word. Damn it. Oh, whatever. Once I find her mother and come back, it won't be a problem. Yeah, about that. What are you trying to do? Homura needs a mother, her real mother. And I love the smug look on Xiao Mei's face. Like,
100% Xiao Mei is like, haha, little do you know you are her real mother.
And and it's going to tragically occur to both of you when it's too late.
What we get here is that Madame That Bitch is actually Homura's mother, which, I mean,
dun dun dun.
All honesty, props to the art style of Eden Zero. You can't, when they have the panel of the two of them,
a close up between the two of them.
Yeah, a close up between the two of them and two half-page panels. There is actually a family resemblance. Like, yeah, it's the kind.
They definitely have two features really big in common.
Matt, every female character has those two features in common. I meant other things.
Yeah. It does help that her hair is kind of let down and wild, whereas the mother's hair has always been like tightly pulled up in like a bun.
Yeah.
This weird bow arch thing.
Well, it's like a traditional. I think
it's a Chinese style.
I was gonna say Chinese. I didn't know for sure, so I didn't want to.
I think it's a Chinese style. Hey, listeners, correct me if I'm wrong, because I very well could be.
Yes, all you Eden Zero scholars out there, tell us the exact country of origin.
So now that this terrible revelation has been made, let's take a quick break as we deal with the fallout of this in a very extended scene of chaos. So we'll be right back after this. And welcome back to the show, folks, where last we left our heroes. Shock, gasp, horrible revelations. Madame Kurenai, the evil tyrant ruling over Sun Jewel with a laser of death, is Homura's mother.
Okay, so there are 3 options here that we're gonna run through.
Place your bets. Place your bets.
Place your bets. Over the course of this chapter, we go through each of them in turn of what's the most likely. Option number 1, there is something sad and or tragic keeping Homura's mother from her. Second, she has been corrupted by wealth that she would be able to bring back to her daughter and has lost the forest for the trees. Or 3, she's gone out for some cigarettes.
I gotta say, how sappy this backstory was with the mom. I legitimately thought I just misread the ending of the last thing where it's like the mother is the queen. I'm like, oh, maybe it just meant that the mother is located on the planet she's at. But then how was that like I could not connect these two being the same character.
Yeah, because we open up the next chapter with seeing Kurenai in a much lower state, raggedy and in the labor district with a slave collar on and a ridiculously high number on it, as Valkyrie is speaking with her, saying that I've come to bring you back to Homura. Oh, my daughter, so she is still alive. Unfortunately, you can't bring her here, and I can't go there. This place is ruled by the lecherous Baron Mordo. Baron Mordo! I wish we could have seen a character design of him, because I bet it would have been Drac and Joe tier. But thankfully, Paul is here because Valkyrie...
this is how Paul met Valkyrie.
Well, he's already met her because, as Paul explains, Valkyrie beat the crap out of him when he tried to steal from her, and he's like, I now respect you. I'm glad to be your student. I never agreed to be your mentor. I'm glad to be your student.
Anyway.
Wait a second. If you can remove collars, Paul, why do you still have your collar on? Oh, well, I'm glad you asked. You see, the dumb Baron, leader of this stupid planet, doesn't realize that when you kill monsters, he teleports away all the metal. But there's actually sometimes rarely a crystal there that's super valuable. So I steal that and I'm making a hefty profit on the side. It's like, and then Kurenai just goes, yes, this is information I will forget if I ever become in a position of power.
So you're telling me this can be even more profitable?
You're telling me all the work here could be done by one Australian gentleman?
Yes, Saxton Hale. No, you can't bring Homura here, and you can't take me away from here to go to Homura because Mordo's men will never let me go. They'll go after her. So long as I wear this collar, I have to pay back this debt. And even if you remove it from me, they'll still chase after me because they want the money. And Valkyrie's like, don't worry, because I am the coolest. I'll have Paul remove the slave collar from you, and I will take on your debt. I can easily win enough metal to pay it off, and you can go back to Homura. And we have a
2-year time skip, which calls into belief how easily she could pay off the debt, but also just how insanely high her debt was.
Kurenai says, I'll never forget this kindness, Lady Valkyrie. I'll remember it forever. 2 years later, Valkyrie and Paul are having some lunch, and Paul goes, forever's pretty short for that woman, huh? What are you talking about? Oh, yeah, you remember Kurenai? Well, she married Baron Mordo and then killed him in his sleep and inherited all his wealth and took over the planet. What? What?
Her excellent performance in the first part of this chapter flashback was, okay, tragic backstory is keeping her from Homura. Now we've gotten into the, was she like corrupted by greed and forgot why she needed money? And quickly we'll transition to the, oh, no, she left Homura to go get cigarettes.
So, I mean, here's the thing. I wonder, have either of you had to, like, deal with a person you know has a gambling addiction?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I got from this, because it's not necessarily that they're lying to you. It's just the second they don't have something beating down their back,
they go right back to it.
All their problems are solved. You don't worry about the fact someone's helped you get here.
Because, I mean, like, not for nothing, this is Homura's mom, and like there's a level of reading her in the most negative light possible. You wonder how they could possibly be related. There is that sense of it's the type of person who in the moment can genuinely believe I'm gonna go do good, and then instantly get distracted with the easy path and completely forget what they were doing. Later on, we'll get dialogue from her that how much of this is true and how much of this is her justifying her actions, but she claims that leaving Homura was to go get cigarettes.
She definitely does seem to just be just kind of a black-hearted person. That's
To be fair, she immediately comes into power, owns the entire thing, and then goes, yes, I know exactly what it was like to live in the slave pits of the labor district. And those lazy assholes aren't working hard enough. Triple the output.
Open up all of the mining doors. Release all of the monsters. Yeah, so Valkyrie is like, that evil... I am going to kick her ass once I'm done dealing with this swarm of monsters. Everyone go protect the women and children. I'll hold off the horde. I'm the one who freed her. It's my responsibility. By the way, behold my special move. Gates of Babylon. I mean, Odin Strike. It's just the Gates of Babylon, but it's really cool. She creates a whole bajillion ether swords that also explode when she shoots them at the monsters.
She also gets rad wings.
Yep.
Because Valkyrie.
And she goes and beats up a truly tremendous amount of monsters, fights for hours and hours, is ripping through them. Kurenai's raking in the dough.
I gotta say, I love how this is like 4 pages of cool battle scenes, and then there's just one strip of a panel who's just Kurenai going like, wow, I've made a lot of money. Those guys really were being lazy down there. I'm a great boss.
Yeah. But we see that despite all of her power and her amazing progress against the swarm, there's too many monsters, and Valkyrie is getting steadily more and more damaged. Until, with one arm bitten off and half of her face destroyed, she wipes out the swarm and falls to a knee, sword planted in the ground, has a flashback to a young Homura saying, I love my mentor. Come to think of it, I never did say that back, did I? Oh, and then she dies. And
I never told you I love you too. Which is really impactful because I assume she's narrating this memory.
That panel cuts from the past to the present with Homura standing in front of her corpse.
And I'm sitting here like, wow, that's the kind of plot point a big boy story does. I was not expecting that, Eden Zero.
I was sitting here going, Eden Zero, you're a dumb horny fight manga. Why am I feeling things?
Yeah, so you know how I was saying there's no way they can justify the look on Shiki and Rebecca's face for the reveal of Valkyrie, why Valkyrie hasn't returned. They kind of did. And for the rest of this section, and hopefully you've already read it because this is a really, really good part of this really good manga. For those of you who are contrarians and get the plot from us, I won't spoil whether or not they do this, but I'm sitting here like, are they gonna Eden Zero her back to life, or are they gonna let this plot point stick? Because the latter would be really impactful, and like, Eden Zero is popcorn. I don't expect them to do the better writing choice, but we'll see. Mm-hmm. We have a whole rest of this plot to go over. But man, it's honestly a genuinely tragic scene. I mean, like, it's only as sad as you are invested in the characters, and this is a popcorn series, so it's not like I'm crying or anything, but like it legitimately got to me over the course of honestly all of the times that Homura has like, considered her mentor and flashed back to it, but especially that, we've had 2 chapters of extended flashbacks to get to know Valkyrie. It really is like losing a character. Like, they did a good job of endearing you to Valkyrie. You feel Homura's loss because...
Yeah, Homura's there desperately bargaining, like, Weiss can fix her, or Sister can heal her. There's got to be something we can do. And Pino's like, no, her core is stopped. It's the equivalent of a human's heart stopping.
We also get the whole thing with Rebecca when she's kind of just going like, okay, we're just going to let her grieve in peace then. And we get introduced to the fact that the prisoners we saw from earlier are actually part of the secret Valkyrie rebellion department.
This is the reason why Madam That, which is, by the way, the reason why I've been calling her that consistently. That's the reason why she's going full nuke on the labor district, because she knows that's happening.
Yep, there's the resistance.
But then we get my favorite part in this entire reading, which is Homura has... we get the sun is now setting, so it's been a long time. Homura's just kind of been crying at Valkyrie's corpse. And Shiki comes up and just goes like, yeah, Valkyrie was really cool. She died protecting so many people. That's amazing. She's got a kind heart. I'm sure we would have been good friends. And Homura is just like, I don't know if I can recover from this. And Shiki's just like, that's okay. You don't have to today. You don't even have to do it like tomorrow. But don't say you're never going to get better, because you've got a bunch of people around you willing to help you. And like when my grandpa died, I didn't think I'd get better either, but I had a lot of people who helped me along, and just, you're probably not going to be the same, but you just got to keep pushing forward.
I love Shiki so much.
It's a really good scene.
I love Shiki so much. He's great.
Yeah. It's not like some kind of lesser show that would just try and shout some kind of protagonist make people good Ray at... It's been a long time since I could make fun of Demon Slayer.
I also love it because Shiki's got this, like caring smile on his face the entire time, and he leaves Homura to recover in her own time. And he walks past Paul, who points him in a proper direction, and we get this look of just absolute fury on Shiki's face.
Oh, such a good panel.
I love it.
He's got that shonen protagonist like, yo, some dick make your friend cry? Yo, you want to go fuck him up? Yeah.
I'm gonna go ruin his life for this one.
At which point he immediately does, because the very next scene, Madam That is talking about how much she loves being evil, and Shiki literally kicks the freaking roof down.
This scene is insane.
It's so insane because she's having this conversation with like Zoidberg, her ward, and the three heavenly enforcers, and Nino's just like, You're really gonna nuke the entire... You can't nuke the entire district. There's thousands of people down there. No, they aren't making me money anymore.
Aha, those fools. They'll all die for this. And then Shiki busts through the window. Someone goes, wait, aren't we on the 12th floor?
We're not even on the 12th floor. We're on the 120th floor.
Like,
Shiki busts through the window, poses up in the shattering glass, and says, all right, which one of you is Kurenai?
It's like, wait, did you hear we're going to kill hundreds of people? No, I heard someone made my friend cry.
Now this is, and like, here's the thing, this is power fantasy done right, because the whole thing that this expresses is that Shiki specifically, but they've all basically been screwing around and playing by the rules. You've pissed me off now I'm not holding back.
I'm immediately flying my ass back up there.
This is some popcorn right here, because this
is yes this is
no lead up to this. This is, I'm so strong I took out the entire floor we're standing on.
I love it. Shiki's got this like devil look on his face, like, I am taking you to Homura because that is what Valkyrie wanted. Wait, Homura's on this planet? Oh, wow, the little brat's still alive. I'm not going back to her. Shatters the floor, drops the entire building down an entire story.
Yeah, no. This is at the very least the point where Madam That Loud claims that she ditched Homura to get cigarettes.
Mm-hmm. And Shiki's like, no, you don't understand. I am taking you to her after I beat you to a pulp.
Aha, but the one thing you don't know is I have a whole bunch of robot mooks. Oh, no, you beat all of them in one punch. Well,
there's the fucking page of the two of them stands up for, strictly speaking, a fight that doesn't happen, but that freaking page is so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, them posed up is a very solid, because that's the last page of that volume too. So hell of a cliffhanger. But yeah, diving right into the next one, she summons forth her robot mooks. Shiki dumps 5 bars into his gravity wave and just wipes them all out.
The dialogue in this fight. If this was any other manga, we would be mocking it right now. But it's Eden Zero, so we expect nonsense like, you made Homura cry, to which that goes, tears are the flaw of the weak. Winners always wear a smile.
Uh-huh.
Such cheesy bullshit.
The same smile you stole from Homura. If it's weak to show tears, then be weak. We'll keep pressing on with that weakness, and someday it will turn into strength.
Uh-huh. And I'm like,
Oh.
I love this guy.
It's such cheesy bullshit, but I fucking love it.
I love the one cutaway panel of Nino who's just like, wait a minute. Just like my animes, this is a shonen protagonist speech.
That's 100% why he's there.
And we need a quick break from that because, again, Shiki dumped like 5 bars, so we need to rest for a bit. Rebecca goes to see Homura because now nighttime has fallen, and the rebellion has heard, wait, he went to go fight Madame Kurenai by himself? He's probably going to die, but this is a great moment to rise up. Let's do it. And Rebecca goes to find Homura, like, we need to go reinforce Shiki. Oh, right. Still in the grieving process.
It's a really sweet moment.
Which is then immediately cut with finding out Drac and Joe ain't nothing to fuck with.
And I really like it because Rebecca flashes back specifically to Homura's vow to find Valkyrie because there were things that she wanted to tell her. And Homura says, so while you've been here, did you say the things that you wanted to? Which kind of wakes Homura out of the funk a little bit. It's like, even though she's dead, your feelings will still reach her. And then Drac and Joe ain't nothing to fuck with!
Drac and Joe just steals the orbital laser.
And then goes, yeah, by the way, I knew you were planning to double cross me, but you're just some gambling addict, so
Guess what? I double crossed you first.
And apparently Kurenai had a giant war robot that she'd been investing most of her money into, and I think she'd even taken a loan out from Drac and Joe to make the robot, because I guess when you own a planet, you still get into massive debt with space pirates. That sounds smart.
Gambling addict.
Yep.
The Kurenai Dragoon. It's a Gundam!
It's even got the blade antenna. It's not a V.
So Drac and Joe now has a laser that can find any target and attack it from any distance, which amazing. Really weird it was being used for the purpose it was being used for, but that's Eden Zero.
Speaking of, let's go find that ship. All right, we've got a lock. We're moving in. And now Joe is no longer in the arc. But to be fair, neither is the laser.
I love the last thing we get from him is hand-to-hand combat. We're going in, and then that doesn't
happen.
Because that's Eden Zero.
Low-key, Drac and Joe's desire to board the Eden Zero actually is somewhat critical because it prevents him from interfering in this. Because if he just fired the laser, he would have realized he got duped. Because, spoiler alert, that's not the Eden Zero they latched onto. It was a duplicate hologram.
Oh.
I love this manga. It's so stupid.
I forget if we looked this up or not, and we really should before the next time we do Eden Zero. We need to find out if the mangaka at any point says they literally write the story week to week, because I would not be surprised.
Me neither.
We get Shiki fighting a mobile suit. Madame Dash has to tell you at every opportunity, multiple times per chapter, that it is her mighty night gear, the Kurenai Dragoon. I know what it's called. You can stop telling me now.
Yes, but the night gear, the Kurenai Dragoon. It has an ether coating, so your magic attacks will not work on it.
Which is convenient, because it turns out her regular guards don't have ether coatings. They're just metal, so they have very high defense. But Rebecca's ether bullets just go straight through them. So she's very surprised with how effective she's being in this fight.
Yeah, Rebecca's like, holy crap, this is working really well.
No one's doing any damage, and I'm literally one-shotting everything I hit.
Amazing.
Happy, did we level up like 50 times? No, we just happen to hard counter them. Neat. Let's keep doing it. And we just get a really insane destructive spectacle of the Gundam and Shiki fighting, with the Night Dragoon or the Kurenai Dragoon just destroying huge swaths of the wealthy district with every move.
Shiki even points out, isn't this stupid? I think you're making a bad decision right now. Shut up, I will squash you.
Maybe we shouldn't be doing this in town? Are you kidding? Doing this in town is so much fun. I'm causing so much destruction.
You're not very smart, are you? That could be said about a lot of characters in this manga.
This isn't Fairy Tail. It's not Lucy. Rebecca is fighting the Lion Axe guy, but then realizes she's hard countered by him, which conveniently, a masked man is dropped from the sky that we could not know who he possibly is. It's Weiss. He sounds exactly like Weiss.
I love this.
My name is Arsenal, the weapon-clad steel warrior. Hi, Weiss. My name is Arsenal.
Let him have this. Come on.
He doesn't deserve it.
He doesn't deserve
You're
it.
right. He doesn't deserve it.
Although I do really like this because, it's an Iron Man suit, vaguely stylized after the Demon King.
Which makes sense because his ether gear was like manipulating technology. So this is the natural conclusion of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. To have an Iron Man suit that he can modify on the fly in mid-combat.
That sounds really powerful. So let's give it a completely unnecessary weakness.
Oh, I love this because as he's fighting, it flashes back to why he's there, why he left the Eden Zero. Turns out Sister really, really likes Rebecca, apparently. I'm pretty sure this is new information. I don't remember this coming up before.
Look how cute she is. I made her my lock screen.
That's creepy.
But wait, do you love her or me more, Moskoy? Her! Poor Moskoy.
Let me finish before you break my heart. The thing I really like about this is it's the Arsenal suit Mark 1, and it's like, oh, so they're going to iterate on this. Neat. In all honesty, the justification for why he doesn't just auto win here is fair.
He's too busy Sentai posing, and the reactor only has so much ether in it.
I do like the part where they pull a nothing personnel kid.
And I also love this because it's like, aha, so the Beastman shows himself. Baron von Lion? That's not my name! And then everyone just keeps calling him Baron von Lion.
But yeah, during the fight, the ether gets depleted and basically sets him on a time limit to finish the fight. We finish it with Big Punch, Metallica Explosion.
Metallica Explosion is a pretty good name.
But ether gear shutting down.
Yeah, and unfortunately, when the suit is out of power, the natural conclusion would be it completely dismantles and leaves him naked.
Of course. Why wouldn't it?
I love him just standing there, arms folded, because he hasn't noticed yet. Just like, oh no, my secret identity. Anyway, where's Shiki and Homura? Where are your clothes? What do you mean? Where are my clothes? Oh my god, I'm naked.
I love the back and forth where he's just like, okay, I am literally completely naked. Please just give me your skirt. We'll solve this problem later. And Rebecca's just like, no, why would I do that? Oh no, why would I do that? Because in case you've forgotten, reader, because it's been like, if you're reading this week to week, it's literally been like a month and a half.
They flash back to the Konosuba reference, which is still in play, apparently.
Rebecca's not wearing underwear. So conveniently, there happens to be
an armory.
Armory, but they also mention it has women's clothes and fashionable men's clothes.
Yep.
Well, they're battle suits is what they are, but
yeah, that's definitely what it looks like Weiss is wearing when we're done
It's
with him.
Eden Zero. What do you expect battle suits to look like?
Not that.
Oh, hey, and while you two are in there, could you get us some extra ammo? Sure.
We go back to Shiki fighting a robot. He does that a lot.
His
Shiki,
cool fight. He fights the boss.
yeah, Shiki's gravity powers are put to some odd applications here because with the ether coating, he can't actually affect the gravity of the mighty Night Gear, Kurenai Dragoon itself. So while he's getting ground into the floor by its fist, he increases the gravity of the floor, shattering it to get into the lower floor of the poor district city.
He gravity accelerates his punch, and then I thought a lot of the stuff that he did was justifiably logical stuff. He turned off his ether gear at the last minute. Like, it's a punch regardless. I don't know.
Yeah, because that implies that if his ether gear was on, the
It wouldn't
momentum
have
is
worked.
the momentum is canceled out by the ether coating, which I guess if you're because again, Eden Zero is space fantasy, so I guess that makes sense. It's like if you had an anti-magic shield.
Yeah, it's technically a magic attack.
Yeah, it goes by Pokemon rules. It hits special defense.
Yeah.
It turns the bludgeoning damage of his punch into force damage.
Whatever gamified explanation you want, because dear God, is Eden Zero gamified all the way down. Funnily enough, I think the least gamified section of Eden Zero is when they went to the video game planet, but we're not going to talk about that.
I just really liked the opportunity for Shiki to have to get a bit more creative with his gravity application, since he couldn't just walk around with the opponent itself.
Yeah, it's a good fight.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Weiss and Rebecca are changing.
Mm-hmm. No, really quick, I want to mention part of the banter between Kurenai and Shiki, because she's like, what are you expecting, some touching reunion between me and Homura? Is that, or do you want the girl to take her rage out on me? You know what? I don't really care what happens once I get you there. All I know is that this was Valkyrie's wish, and I am taking up that torch.
Oh, and then they start trying to debate philosophy, and it's a lot of words exchanged. Anyway,
Rebecca and Weiss are changing, and whoo, damn.
And what ultimately ends up becoming one of my favorite scenes in this section, and not for the reasons you'd think.
I know that you were talking about Weiss's like business casual wear, Matt, but also Rebecca's outfit is ridiculous.
See, Rebecca's outfit I at least believe is a battle suit. Weiss is a collared short shirt with white buttons and like nice dress pants that have I thought they were like bows, but are actually just black stripes.
See, I don't know if those are supposed to be the battle gear. Like they specifically say women's battle gear when Rebecca asks because she wants some panties on, god damn it. So I think that's just supposed to be actual, like, normal clothes for Weiss. It also doesn't explain why this really nice outfit is in the hyper-poor labor district.
That's what I said earlier, but I was told that was battle gear, so I'm just pointing out.
Yeah, well, Weiss is locked in the changing room for this scene, so don't worry about it. That's Eden Zero for you.
And then our boy Nino shows up.
He's like, all right, with my admin controls, I can turn off all of the weapons down here and lock up this armory. And wait a minute, Rebecca, why are you here? I'm part of the resistance. Oh, well,
crap.
I'm part of the enforcers, so I have to beat the crap out of you now.
That sucks. Could you not? Yeah, I also got to do my job.
I am far more scared of Madam That Bitch than I am
of you.
He also has a weird kind of thing where he's just like, look, I'm currently being an antagonist to your shonen action hero thing, so if you want to save the universe, you do have to fight me.
Mm-hmm. I fully believe that his internal justification is, she's clearly the protag here. I need to be as anime as possible.
Which he then proceeds to do.
He reveals that he is actually a siren from Borderlands. Wow, that keeps coming up, doesn't it? Because he unveils his psychic stand arms.
That can always block bullets.
Look, it ends up not really mattering because this is sort of a one and done fight, but it is really cool for all of that. Rebecca tries to shoot him, it doesn't work.
Yeah, and more importantly, Rebecca gets the flashback of, hey, wait a second. I'm fighting a beekeeper who uses his fists, and that dude earlier was fighting some fast animal thing, I guess.
That reminds me of the Colosseum on the Time Planet. Wait a minute. And Shiki was fighting a metal man.
Fighting a metal.
Metal Man then. So if he's currently fighting a big metal man, cut back to the fight where Shiki has gone full Goku and torn off his shirt.
Say what you will about Eden Zero, and there's a lot to say, but the fan service is equal opportunity.
Rebecca, as she's getting knockout punched by the Super Fist, is like, wait a second. And Homura had to fight a copy of Valkyrie. Zhao Mei knows the future. Did she set up that tournament to foreshadow what's happening here? Wait a minute, how did I win my fight? Right, the kick.
To be fair, Rebecca does repeatedly say, how did I win my fight? With my bare feet. My feet. And I'm like, God damn it, please, no, Nino, no, please, no. Nino, don't be creepy. Don't be creepy.
And that's not it. Because I really like this because she gets punched. She, over the course of like falling to the ground from the punch, she has this revelation and then reverses back to just before the punch hit and realizes she has awoken her own ether gear.
Oh, I fucking love this.
Yeah, so freaking cool. Because then it's like punch resumes and it's like, no, the final blow. Wait a minute, my punch didn't make contact. Wait, she jumped out of the way. What is... And Rebecca's like, all right, I have my own ether gear now, which allows me to move really fast. I'm not sure. I'm still figuring this out. Anyway, hey, Nino, you remember that one episode of the Magical Girls show we bonded over? Where the heroine kicks the guy who was acting ridiculous and knocks him back to his senses? She unleashes...
Save the universe, right?
Bell Holly slash! And she kicks him in the face, and as he's flying through the air, I love this so much. He's like, that's the exact name from the manga. It's okay. I like the manga better anyway.
Me too.
And I thought this was really cool. Except after Rebecca tells you that she's naming her new power Leaper because it gives her the power to leap, Zhao Mei shows up in her sea of stars going like, yes, she's finally awakened the power of Leaper at last. But it has more secrets. And I'm like, I swear to God, if this is going to do dumb meta bullshit. Eden Zero, stop it.
I know what it is. It's a metaphorical power of leaping. How did she reverse time after getting hit by the knockout punch? She leapt backwards through time.
Huh.
Yeah, if this does dumb metaphorical bullshit, like what I just said. Okay.
I'm looking forward to it. That's awesome. Rebecca is now a sidereal.
And there's the Exalted reference.
Yep. And Shiki just says things are gravity themed and then is good at them.
Yeah.
Like that's where he is right now.
Popcorn shonen.
Yep, he's just like, I'm now going to use the gravity of water to make it ice. I don't fucking care. It doesn't matter.
Now using audio acoustic cooling.
Oh my God. Fire Force at least acknowledges it's stupid at times.
Oh.
The character in Fire Force who can control the velocity of bullets. Just insane.
So
Okay.
now the next chapter has my least favorite start to a fight, but then my most favorite end. Because Homura, hearing the sounds of battle, is like, anime battle, I should get in there. Why can't I move? Blah. At which point, BDSM man walks up and says, yes, the slow-acting poisons have finally kicked in after the fast-acting poisons worked on you earlier.
I want you to know, I've always thought Kurenai was a bitch. I'm glad I can take out my frustrations on her with her daughter. I also have a weird mommy complex thing for her, so that might also be where this is coming from. I'm really creepy on multiple levels.
Now watch as I molest Valkyrie's corpse.
It'll be as evil as possible.
Mm-hmm. And Homura is just growing steadily more enraged, but she is paralyzed, so she can't get up to actually kick his ass. Gets some really great panels of her just growing increasingly furious, though. But she's not so paralyzed. She can't use her arms, which means her ether gear works. And I freaking love this. She unlocks the gates of Babylon. I mean Odin's strike. And you're thinking, all right, cool. She used the final move. She has defeated him now. But what's this? She didn't actually seem to hit him, even with all those explosions. Oh no, now he's run in and tied her up. Her ether gear doesn't work anymore. What happens now? How does she get out of this? Is someone else going to have to show up and save her? At which point Homer is just like, hey,
notice how Valkyrie's sword isn't there anymore?
Wait, the sword that she was leaning on this entire time in her death pose, where did it... Wait, did you knock that away with your super move? How does that help you? Where did it go? And he looks up just in time to see it fall and pierce through his fucking heart.
Yeah, what the fuck was this panel? Like, wow.
Awesome is what it is.
I was not expecting this.
Just because this manga loves cutting around the blood and or just straight up not showing it, even as people are getting maimed, and that's like part of the reason why robots are such prevalent characters. They don't have blood.
They don't bleed, at least not the way that humans do.
And then in like full silhouette against a white background, the sword falls, stabs straight through him, spraying everywhere. It's so cool.
Oh, he's vile enough. He deserved that indulgent of a death scene.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean this in the nicest way possible. Is he actually dead?
I have no reason to believe otherwise.
He's still talking last time he's on screen. And I don't know.
I'm pretty sure he's dead.
The kind of manga Eden Zero is, I could also see him not being dead, but
they might bring him back to knock him down again, but
they also might not bring him back at all. They could just say he didn't die. Like that's all I'm saying is.
Well, yeah, because you don't want the characters killing, like you don't want the protagonists killing people.
Have to finish off the fight with the Kurenai Dragoon with the final quick time cutscene battle.
That really do be what this is.
I really liked this. But look, by this point, I was so like hyped up after the way Garo died that I was like, all right, I'm 1,000% in. I was already having a good time. Now I'm having a great time. How is Shiki gonna beat this big robot?
I just loved how the heat-seeking missile is chasing him, and then when he finally jumps back, the panel of him landing on her view screen, just teabagging, going like, "Then how about this?" And she's like, "What?"
I love that panel so much. If it wasn't for like the next 2 pages, it'd be my favorite panel in this reading. Because Shiki's like, "Oh yeah, that's probably not going to actually damage you, is it? Well, don't worry, I've got an idea." And he grabs the missile, channels its kinetic energy into his gravity powers, increasing the gravity of himself to shatter straight through the robot, destroying the entire thing in a glorious multi-page explosion.
And then he's sitting there, he's channeled so much gravity ether through him. He's now glowing with ether gear runes. And she's like,
and has horns sprouting from his head made out of more ether gear. And I'm like, holy shit.
My mech beaten by a mere human. Wait, are you really human? And I'm like, probably not at this point. Like,
no, that's a demon king right there. Oh God, I loved the end of this so much. But now that all the bosses have officially been defeated, it's time for our denouement.
Shiki's also not wearing clothes, because I guess we're going to have that joke for the 4th time this arc.
He's at least got his pants on. He's just shirtless and absolutely rocking it. Boy is wide.
And Shiki presents Kurenai to Homura.
Mm-hmm.
The masses of I suppose now freed slaves are like, oh boy, all the terrible things we're going to do to you. And Shiki says, no, Homura is the one who should decide what to do with her.
Are you sure? I mean, she did kind of oppress us for a long time. Well,
I
isn't
really like how the crowd is kind of not on board with this, but it's just, I guess.
Yeah. When Paul, the old man, and Shiki are all like, let Homura decide, they're like, okay.
Well, what really convinces them is Paul mentions that considering it's what Valkyrie would have wanted, because Homura is not only Kurenai's daughter, but also Valkyrie's star pupil.
They do give the caveat that, hey, since we're letting you make a decision for a group of people, you don't get to pity her. Like that is a thing you can do on an individual basis. That's off the table for representing others, and she seems to be okay with that. Like,
oh yeah, no, Homura is absolutely fine with that. Kurenai does what you expect. She goes right in for the,
oh, I'm so remorseful. Oh, Homura, my daughter, you've grown so strong. Please, you wouldn't hurt me, right?
no, Homura has a really based reaction. You gave birth to me. For that, I'm grateful. Other than that, you abandoned me, so I don't care about you.
Because the best part is she has one final test, and she takes out the toy that was her only connection. It was something her mom gave her before she left. And Kurenai has no idea what that thing is. And she's like, oh, wow, this was really important to me. But if you don't give a shit about it, I don't give a shit about it. And I don't give a shit about you.
And it's just, I literally feel nothing towards you. So I can't do anything in this case. All I ask is that you stay out of my life forever. And her very polite words and her absolute soul-freezing death glare. Mwah, beautiful juxtaposition.
But kind of shitty for you're representing the group of people she's been murdering. Like,
yeah, don't worry. It all comes around, because Kurenai runs into the forest and like, Mui, yes, I am still mustache-twirlingly evil. I will not let this setback stop me. I'm just going to get more power, and then gets clubbed in the face.
aha.
Not for nothing, but the crowd was watching this all take place. Probably not in earshot, but saw the direction she was running. I have a feeling that they knew what was going to happen, because they don't try to intercept her.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they also said they'd respect Homura's decision, but yeah.
Well, I mean, Homura's decision is you can go off, like you're in the middle of a place with people that hate you. You can go off and get yourself killed. I don't care.
Just stay out of my life forever. That's real easy, because, hey, you remember the pretty boys she maimed?
Well, it's apparently an entire gang of pretty boys she's made. Like,
yeah, that was mentioned, so.
I gotta say, my man with his cool skull mask, looking great. Like,
honestly,
seriously.
rocking it.
Yeah.
Cool skull mask, biker leathers, futuristic metal baseball bat. He and his boys capture her, and it's like, oh no, you crazy old hag. I'm not gonna kill you. You're going to be our pet. Call it karmic retribution. Man, Cedric, you know some fancy words. That's like Umbridge being dragged into the woods by the centaurs level of fridge horror in terms of what's going to happen to her.
This arc has a very dark ending.
Yep.
Then Zhao Mei has to hop in and give us spoilers for don't worry, they're going to freely elect a democracy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Many, many years in the future.
Everything will be solved eventually.
There's going to be democratic elections. It's going to become a highway for adventurers. It's still a very profitable planet. It's going to be a touchstone of galactic civilization. Oh, wait, I've gotten too far. Right, back to the Eden Zero.
Where the crew is discussing the morality of bringing someone back to life that they totally could do very easily.
I liked this.
Oh no, I love this because this is very much the point of boy, it would really go against the entire thesis statement of your series if you had a backup file and just made Valkyrie alive again. And Eden Zero has the maturity to not do that. I was shocked and pleased.
Mm-hmm.
Can we just get over Hermit just spouting science words though in the middle as her justification? Yes, we cannot reproduce neurotransmitters such as endorphins and dopamine. I'm like, sure, but like, Um,
Even if we did upload the perfect record of her memories, she would
It wouldn't be the same person.
have none of the emotional context behind any of it. It would be meaningless to her. At that point, it's an entirely different person with false memories.
Yeah, which in all honesty is the right narrative call. I didn't expect this Popcornia series to actually just kill off a character that important.
Mm-hmm.
It goes on to, once again, go with the mature decision of, no, Valkyrie's definitely good and proper dead, because Homura steps up and says, I will take her place. I will fill the role that she had, or if I can't, then I'll grow into it.
And Shiki continues his running theme of, it turns out he and Grandpa had a conversation about this exact situation that I just remember now that it's convenient.
Yep, Grandpa Ziggy talking about how despite the
robots can die. That's why they have hearts, really, is the jux of it.
Yep. And I really like the response to Homura's declaration that she'll become the new Valkyrie, because it's like, can we have a human be one of the shining stars? There's nothing that says we can't. Okay.
Moskoi was hoping to get the job.
And hey, what about Drac and Joe coming after them? It was a hologram.
Yeah, that's the point where this is revealed. Because, like, the entire time, it's like, I was like, is Kurenai fighting Drac and Joe going to be the reason why there's not a boss fight on the Eden Zero? Because we shouldn't be fighting Drac and Joe yet. And no, it turns out it was a hologram all along. Okay.
I thought that was going to be the case too, and I was low-key hoping that was going to be what it was, but I guess this works too. It's much more important that we get the emotional resonance in as Sister and Hermit are talking on the deck. And
because
no,
I mean,
not
Sister's
Sister's
having a perfectly reasonable, like, I mean, she's in the bargaining stage of grief, is what it is.
Yeah, I called Enchantress by the wrong name. That's what happened. They have very nondescript names, to my credit.
Yeah.
Oh yes, you are correct in that assessment.
The easiest one is to remember is Sister, because she has the nun outfit.
They just have a moment accepting that someone who's been in their lives for, I believe, centuries is gone forever, and they're not getting her back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, the weird captain guy was just watching this, going like, "Shit, I don't know these people. This is weird.
I feel like I'm intruding. I'm just going to leave.
Hopefully they forget I'm on the ship."
It is two pretty ladies crying. No, I'm leaving. And yeah, that's Eden Zero back once again. So, as we always do with Shonen series, favorite character and favorite fight. God, I really want to say Homer is my favorite character, but I love Shiki. He's my boy. There are so many moments that just further reinforced why I love this idiot. He's so good. He's a great example of a shonen hero, and it's good to have such a solid example of a lead in that regard in such an otherwise, low calorie series. And as for favorite fight, I mean, chicks dig giant robots. Shiki versus the mightiest Night Gear. Yeah, that thing. Jake, how about you?
Favorite character, man, I really want to say Rebecca. Because damn, did she do so many cool things in this section. Boy, like I said, there was a little bit of badass decay for Rebecca that I was worried that she wasn't gonna. I was worried she was gonna just be eye candy. But man, did she assert herself as a major player within the story in this section. For Homura, this was her story, and man, I mean, like in a lot of ways, I sort of attribute a lot of the endearment I gained for Valkyrie. It's like we had her and then we immediately lost her, but like that is who, like. A lot of the things I love about Homura come from Valkyrie, and it was expressed here in a surprisingly well done way. Like it always shocks me for how dumb and popcorny and low calorie Eden Zero is. It's still solid, like writing and execution of these ideas. It's nothing that deep, but it is quality for as deep that it does go. and I already freaking adore Homura for a myriad of reasons. So a plot arc central to her story, of course, Homura's got to be my number one. That said, though, I do get to do a little bit of Rebecca rep because my favorite fight was Rebecca versus Nino. That was like, I mean, I love mobility in fighting, and the one who had the best flash stepping movement tech. I mean, honestly, both Arsenal and Shiki had some of it, but the one where the paneling was the best and it was the most emphasized was Rebecca unlocking her own ether gear, independent from just using Happy as guns. So, gotta go with that fight.
Excellent. And Matt.
Let's see. Favorite character. There were so many good ones in this. Let's go with Shiki because he had my favorite moment, which is the telling someone going through grief that hey, I'm not gonna force you to get over it. I'm not gonna shonen protagonist tell you to just smile through the pain right now. But people around you love you. They're willing to support you, and one day you'll feel better. You might not be the same person, but you'll be able to keep walking. And I really like that. It's a level of maturity that the series definitely didn't deserve, but it had anyway. Favorite fight? I gotta go with the Monster Hunter boss fight where we had the 3-man combo move. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people?
You are right. That is
You
pretty
are
freaking
right.
amazing.
That was sick.
The Monster Hunter boss fight, even I established they didn't need to do. They could have just ran away.
Yeah.
The reason they didn't run away is because they had to do that cool boss fight.
All right. And would you continue reading? I know that in the past I've been sort of not super committal on it. Like, oh yeah, I'll continue to read for the pod. I like it. Maybe I'll read a chapter here or there. I really had to stop myself from not just continuing to dive into more because I really enjoyed this last arc. So yeah, I'll absolutely continue reading. Matt, how about you?
It's dumb popcorn nonsense. It's hard to hate, hard to like. Here's the thing. I'll keep reading Eden Zero. I would not tell other people to read Eden Zero. Like, I'm not an evangelist for this. I can see its flaws and like it's popcorn. It's fun to eat.
And Jacob.
Oh, hells yeah, I'm gonna read more Eden Zero. Mr. Cerebral over here, who's always deeply literary analysing crap that doesn't deserve it. Eden Zero is something that I acknowledge doesn't deserve that deep of a read, and I actually, read it on its own level and don't read it that deeply, and you know what? Everyone's got their popcorn, and this fine. Like, I freaking love Eden Zero. So, of course I'm going to continue reading. I hope I can say next time that I've read the whole arc before we get to it, because, it's so much freaking fun, man.
All right. And thank you, everybody, once again for tuning in to the Over Manga Cast. As always, you can find us on all your social medias where we are at Over Manga Cast.
You can also find us on YouTube. Our episodes go up there on a 2-week delay. Like, comment, and subscribe. If you want our more up-to-date stuff, we have overmangacast.com, and that even gives you a spot to give us comments on individual episodes, give us recommendations, tell us what your guilty pleasures are. Maybe we'll check them out on the pod.
And as always, we appreciate reviews in any and all forms, so you can go ahead, let us know what you think, give us recommendations, reach out, overmangacast@gmail.com, hit us up on the website, there are comments there. I mean, do whatever you want. I'm not your mom. Make sure to tune in next week where we'll continue with the popcorny schlock with the... never mind. We're reading the Apothecary Diaries, chapters 1 through 14. I guess we're going classy this week?
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but it certainly sounds thought-provoking.
Indubitably.
Oh, yes, quite. The Apothecary.
Yes, we'll go into the apothecaries to decide what potions we're going to have, and we'll see you all next Thursday. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everyone.
Oh, yes, quite. It appears the Apothecary Diaries is a light novel about a young girl who wants to be a pharmacist in the red light district. Prostitutes and drugs. Very highbrow. Oh, shit, we're still recording. We need a damn light on this thing.